So many things to talk about tonight. We'll get started with this first graphic. This powerful winter storm going to affect a lot of us over the next 24 to 36 hours. Here are the things we're confident of. The conditions will certainly worsen across the region from late tonight into the morning hours on Tuesday. And for some of us, that's going to linger through the day on Tuesday. But here in Lincoln, if you're out and about early this evening, I think you're in pretty good shape. Again, we would not expect, and certainly the winter storm warning for Lincoln doesn't go into effect until midnight. So not too bad during the evening hours in southeastern Nebraska and other portions of eastern Nebraska, but certainly in the west where we've already picked up 2 to 5 inches of snow, and the snow picking up again in central Nebraska, going to be a little bit different story. Moderate to heavy snow for most areas, not all areas, but most areas. We'll talk about that over the next couple of minutes. Winds of 25 to 45 miles an hour, maybe gusting higher than that later tonight, and then during the day on Tuesday. Blowing and drifting snow going to be an issue. Reduced visibility, obviously an issue with these blizzard and near blizzard conditions. Those are the things we're confident of. Here's what we're still concerned about as meteorologists: the possibility of some area getting dry slotted. What are we talking about? As these upper level lows come out, they tap some dry air in the mid levels, and that shuts off precipitation. So that could really impact your snowfall potential. Some of us in southeastern Nebraska especially could see more rain than snow. That will also impact the amount of snow totals that we get. And then the exact storm track is still a bit of an issue. Also, the possibility of thunder snow. That throws everything out the window. If you hear thunder and the snow is falling, that could exponentially increase your snowfall rates, and that would rapidly increase your snowfall amounts in some areas. So again, some things we're very confident of. Going to be a tough day tomorrow no matter where you're at, and some things we're still concerned about even as this storm begins to move towards the central plains. Here's a look at the advisories. Warnings still in effect. Remember the red counties blizzard warnings, the pink shaded counties including Lincoln and Lancaster County. That winter storm warning for us goes into effect at midnight, continues till 4 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and then bracketed in the southeast and the north central and northwest by winter weather advisories. Lighter snowfall amounts and maybe winds not quite as strong in those areas. A quick check now of where we're at as far as storm tracker radar is concerned. Still a lot of light to at times moderate snow, not a lot of heavy snow reported. And again, not all of this is reaching the ground, but it is certainly the precursor to the big weather system that's headed our way. Visibility is in pretty good shape over about the eastern half of the state, but even without a lot of wind, visibilities are greatly reduced where the snow's falling in Hastings and in Kearney and North Platte and in McCook. So again, we urge you to be careful because these visibility numbers are just going to continue to drop, and once the wind starts to pick up late tonight and throughout the day on Tuesday, going to be impossible to get some places. Right now, temperatures are in the 30s and lower 40s. Lincoln's still pretty mild at 37 degrees with an east-northeast wind that's still doable, 8 to 18. We're gusting over 30 or 35 in the southwest corner, but that's really just about it. Here's a quick check of our wind chill numbers. Again, 20s and 30s for most of us. 37 in Lincoln with an east-northeast wind now at 9 miles an hour. We'll see some rain this evening. Here's a look at the Nebraska, northern Kansas satellite radar. Here's the regional satellite radar, and I've highlighted the area, the upper level area of low pressure that continues to spin away. Look how far away it is from us yet. That's why things have turned dramatically bad at this point, but will later tonight and early in the morning on Tuesday, then continuing throughout the day on Tuesday as that area of low pressure tracks towards the north and east. So let's check out the advisories. Look at the impact this storm system is going to have across a huge chunk of the country, including Nebraska and northern Kansas. So later tonight, the wind and the snow develops. It becomes near blizzard-like for some folks overnight tonight into the morning hours on Tuesday. We'll continue to see that wind and snow throughout the day Tuesday, starting to taper back, at least the snow, but the wind hangs around, so blowing and drifting will continue to be an issue into the afternoon and evening. Then things quiet down and things turn much quieter as the rest of the week wears on. So let's check out, again, some snowfall potential. This is the NAM model. Quickly, it's still throwing down some huge numbers in excess of 14, 15, 16 inches in some locations, but lighter in the southeast and in the north central and northwest. GFS, look how much lighter the snow is here. If this model would verify, but then look how heavy it is in that snow band from the southwest, central, and northeast. And then RPM looks like this. So this is what we have come up with as far as the Nebraska Weather Network is concerned. A huge swath of 8 to 14 inches of snow with higher amounts possible. Lincoln is in the 5 to 9. And then look how much lighter it gets, not very far away. We're talking about 50 miles could be the difference between an inch or two of snow and 10 or 12 inches of snow in some locations. A quick check of your temperatures tomorrow, 20s and 30s. Quick look at our forecast at 9 o'clock tonight. We're thinking mainly rain showers, maybe a few wet flakes in there. Northeast winds pick up, 35 in Lincoln. By 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, it's Katy bar the door. Snow and wind, northeast winds gusting over 35 miles an hour with a temperature around 30, moderate to heavy snow possible at times. Then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, more snow and wind, although the snow will taper off. The blowing and drifting will continue, 29 in Lincoln with those wind gusts still over 35 miles an hour. Quiet wet but cold the rest of the week, especially if we've got some significant snow on the ground, which we would expect would be the case in a lot of locations, maybe getting close to 40 by the weekend. We'll have much more headed your way. Please stay with us. Start off with the most important thing right now. This is where the snow continues to fall, and remember that just about everybody in the coverage area is still looking at winds anywhere from 35 to 40 or 45 miles an hour, at least in a lot of places. So the heavy snow band that plagued Grand Island and Hastings finally starting to show a little bit of a shift either to the east or to the southeast. Now, we're going to continue to see at least the possibility for some additional light snow, and for a good chunk of the eastern third to the eastern half of the state, anywhere from around an inch to perhaps as much as 2 or 3 inches of additional snowfall will be possible. That doesn't mean everybody will see that, but I just want you to be prepared for that. We've got some huge snowfall numbers to share with you in just a little bit, and even in the places where we've seen 10, 12, 14 inches of snow, we could still see some additional light accumulations to that. And again, it's not going to be just the additional light snow, it's going to be these winds that are going to continue to wreak havoc. Again, travel certainly not recommended in a lot of places, especially in central into northeastern Nebraska, and where the roads have been closed. Folks, please do the law enforcement folks a big favor and do not try to get back out onto those roadways. Interstate 80 until it's open, the state highways until they're open in these areas where we continue to see near zero visibility at times. So again, please bear with the folks that have closed those roads. They're doing it for your safety, and we want you to respect that. Now, we're going to continue to see some periodic light snow moving back through the Lincoln area as well, so we may not be done. Lincoln averaging out around 6 to 7 inches of snow, and certainly we could end up with a little bit higher numbers than that by the time it's all said and done. You can see how many of us are still included in this blizzard warning and then bracketed with the winter storm warnings, including the Lincoln and Omaha areas continuing, and then we've got winter weather advisory counties in the north central portions of the state. Let's check out some significant, and I do mean significant, snowfall totals. The Central Nebraska Regional Airport in Grand Island, this update just came in about 5 minutes ago, 18.3 inches of snow, and when they sent out their almanac summary, 16.9 was the number, and that was a record. So this is obviously a record. 18.3 inches of snow. In and of itself, 18 inches of snow will shut you down. The fact that we combined these tremendous amounts of snow with winds between 40 and 50 miles an hour, just a nightmare for folks in central Nebraska. Wayne at 16 inches, that's the latest report. And again, some of these areas could pick up some additional light snow, as we mentioned. The National Weather Service office in Hastings checking in with 15.4 inches of snow today. Beaver City 15, Albion 13, Holdridge 12. The National Weather Service office in North Platte getting hammered with 11.2, reports of 5 to 6 foot snow drifts there. David City 11, Fremont 11, Columbus 10, Arthur, Nebraska 10, Seward 9.5, Ogallala 9, Minden at 8 inches. Again, 1011 Studios here in Lincoln, we measured at 7 inches this afternoon. Wahoo at 7, Omaha Offutt at 6 inches, O'Neill at 6, Tecumseh 1.5, Beatrice only a half an inch of snow. The report earlier this afternoon. Now we could see some additional light snow in Beatrice, and we had temperatures in the 50s in Falls City this afternoon, so they picked up no snow. Here's a check of the numbers, and again, these numbers are important, not just the temperatures, but the winds. Temperatures right now in the low 20s to low 30s, including 32 in Lincoln, where we continue to see a little bit of a mixture of precipitation. We had graupel this afternoon, we had snow, we had a little bit of light rain, so there is some mixed precipitation out there, and that may make for some tricky travel as well, so please keep that in mind. So numbers in the 20s and 30s. We've got the north winds now in a lot of locations. They are sustained anywhere from around 25 to 35 miles an hour in most locations, and we're seeing wind gusts, again, as we mentioned, between 40 and nearly 50 miles an hour still, especially over portions of central Nebraska. So again, we can't urge you enough to be very, very careful. Stay home if you don't have to get out. Wind chills, we haven't talked about that, but now they're becoming a factor. They're in the single digits and teens. So if you go someplace you're not supposed to be and have some car issues, it's very, very cold out as well. That's why we'd like you to stay safe and stay home if you can. How about zero visibility in York, zero visibility in Columbus, less than a mile visibility in a lot of places like Hastings, Kearney, Broken Bow, and Ord. Even in the capital city now, our visibility is down to 3/4 of a mile. So again, we're going to see that light snow, those gusty winds, and those falling temperatures coming through the area. So there's satellite radar. We'll widen out the view. You can see this huge storm system continuing to slowly work its way towards the north and east. Here's how SkyCast plays this out. By the time we get to 10 o'clock, again, the snow should be diminishing. The winds will not, so they'll continue to be an issue. As we move into tomorrow morning, it's still windy. No additional falling snow, but maybe some blowing snow because the winds are still very powerful. Partly cloudy skies on Wednesday afternoon, but we're going to be digging out of a lot of snow. Then pretty quiet conditions as we move into your Thursday. Maybe a weak disturbance bringing some folks a little bit of light precipitation in the far west by the time we get to Friday morning. But again, that's no big weather system. As far as what we expect tomorrow afternoon, mid-20s to lower 30s across the region. Quick check of your Lincoln forecast conditions at 9 o'clock tonight. Windy, maybe some more light snow. Again, be careful with your travel plans. Around 30 degrees at 9, probably a little cooler than that. 7 a.m. around 20, blustery, maybe some blowing snow. Those northwest winds are still going to be gusting over 25 miles an hour. At 3 o'clock, partly cloudy, but only 26, and it'll feel even colder than that with the fresh snow and a northwest wind out there. We've got quiet conditions for the rest of the week, and as we approach the weekend, and hopefully we'll warm the temperatures up a little bit by Saturday, Sunday. Much more headed your way. We ask you to stay tuned.